The city with a traveling man. With tears in her eyes, she said, "Is this really goodbye?" I said, "Across the borders of land, I'm a in the city."
Peace, y'all. Wagwan Eon tribe. Yo, it's been a hectic last couple of days. Just me, going through the motions with different things I've been working on. I was gonna upload, but things came. But I got a video for y'all though, you already know. This is actually a very powerful movie, and before you even watch this video, go check it out. If you don't have it like rented or go to the theaters, you can find a streaming, find a stream to it. But I highly recommend you watch this video before you check out what I have to say about it. Like, for real, like, it's going down. You feel me? We're gonna go right into the hidden meanings and symbols in this video, in this movie. This story has a lot to do with the process of life, has a lot to do with what's beyond the curtain, and the way in which they displayed it was very appealing. And I know a lot of people are having a lot of introspection, as I did watching this video. And I suggest you take notes. You should always go into movies with actually a notepad if you're really serious about it, because they drop a lot of gems for people to see these hidden esoteric meanings, or even just simple ones that are relevant to the human experience. So, the first hidden meaning, this is the first out of the 7, and it starts with the 7, the circle 7. You have the point, you have the 7 circles, and the 6 surrounding the 7. So how you can look at that is the process of life is you have the 6 atoms, right, which represents Venus, represents the creation energy, also representing the unfoldment of these intentions that they were showing before coming here. So when you look into the 7 now, you're seeing how in the Bible it corresponds with the 7th day. The Most High God rested on the 7th day. 7 has to do with the completion, has to do with the mental aspect. Now it's complete. You're into form. And the way in which they used it was saying that to be able to get to Earth, to Terra, Midgard, you have to be able to have the 7 circles, have the 7 vibrations, like the 7 colors, right? Spectrums. You have 7 continents, you have 7 days in a week. Your body literally regenerates the whole cells in your body in 7 years. So every 7 years you're completely different, have a completely different body. The 7 is the promise fulfilled, you could say. So when you're able to now get to Earth, you have to be able to and stay in this form, have this your aura to be fully complete in you could say the aura that keeps you together without your atoms being all dispersed. The 7 is the vibration in which keeps you at a constant rate of balance. So I found it very intriguing. That's the first thing that really stood out to me when I was watching it, and I seen these circles and even when he was trying to leave from the white light, which I heard other YouTubers talk about represents the moon. At the at that point, I really wasn't thinking about it like that, but more so just the fact that you're being recycled. And you could say, yeah, it's the moon, right? Because the moon follows the light. So what we look at now with the circle 7, that goes back to the original man, more science. And I know you see behind me, the prophet brought that to us, brought it back into our awareness about how man's anatomy is so significantly tied in with this vibration, the 7 and the circle. And you know, there's deeper meanings to it, and I'm still learning. So I highly recommend people look into this for themselves as well, because there's always more to what I'm saying. Feel me? So the next thing now we're talking about is quantum entanglement. And the process of me telling you which one is which, this doesn't necessarily have to do with the order as I was watching it, but the way I put this list together was based off of what I see was going in the next, like this, the synchronicity of, I guess, how I'm putting it together, just the way in which I see fit. Because this necessarily wasn't the next symbol, but this was what I deemed as the next symbol. You feel me? So if you see this, if you're watching a movie and it's kind of out of order, there's a reason to that. That's just the way I process things. But yeah, quantum entanglement has to do with two atoms, two possibilities now being together. And you notice the main character, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about, with the glasses. Anyways, his counterpart, which he was talking to for the majority of the movie, actually was a thought, you could say an intention, but she didn't know what she was meant for, what she was here to do. And it's interesting, you may notice that before he went down or disconnected from his body, when he was at the school, there was a girl that was very pessimistic after she was in her own world doing her own thing. Now that I'm looking back, I have a strong feeling it was related to that, to her and that thought form, that she wasn't she didn't know her purpose fully. And it came on later in the movie, actually confirmed that when they switched bodies, not switched bodies, but she came into his body, and he had to now be in the cat and speak to her, right? And that same girl came and basically was saying that she's quitting the music. She's not quitting these things she was working on with her instrument. So now it's the fact that she has a relation, because she's starting to hear how she feels now in a more physical form. And I don't know if that's confusing, but you have to kind of see the movie and draw parallels with that. So the reason I say it's quantum entanglement is because they both complemented each other, they both revealed each other, but it was more so in a synergistic way of showing and highlighting the areas in which weren't being noticed. While he was focusing on his intentions and his passion, she was focused on the fact that she sees beyond that in a way, and that she just feels like there's no point of having passions when the end result is the end result, or you could say her just existing was good enough for her, in a way, even if she wasn't consciously saying it, or whatever point of existence she was at, because it touches on that another thing, right? Impermanence, and before we come here, coming from nothingness, right? So the next thing now is Earth. And I know I called it Terra, Midgard, there's other names for it. And you could look at it as the main point, the pivot in the cosmos, as experiences come to manifest in the flesh, and to gain that information to reach through Doth. And a lot of this was Kabbalistic, speaking on the unfoldment from the abyss, the void, into the intentions, the word, the vibrations, the so on, the crystallization, the next, the processes of life. But when we're on this form, it has a lot to do with just experience, carnal experiences. You're dealing with information now. So there's a point in which the main character realizes that his passions and intentions were all linked truly to experiencing things. What brought him joy now was now realizing that he was more than just a saxophone player. He was more than just what he's been telling himself for all these years, that this is how he will be happy, and this will be his fulfillment. And I think that's one of the biggest messages, these hidden messages that people may skip over, that it's really speaking to, it spoke to my soul. I know for sure that, we're not here just to be constantly grinding and, always be focused on getting somewhere. But we also need to smell the roses. We need to appreciate and give thanks for what we have, and for all of these experiences, whether we found it good or bad, whether we found it to be exciting or not. But this is a real pleasure and something that we should never take for granted. And this leads back into the whole circling point that I saw in the video, that you could see that they're in a circle, and now Earth is like the point. But you see, the beginning is also the end. The origin before doesn't have a beginning or end. So at any point can be the origin. At any point can be the defining aspect of you, because all we have is the now. The now is going back to the portal, is the portal to all possibilities now. So you see me, it's a lot of stuff in there. So yeah, the fourth thing was purpose and intentions. Now I spoke on, kind of fused both points together with that in Earth, the whole aspect, because it goes hand in hand. But one thing I'll say more is that it should be noted that the whole intention is manifested through the point, and this is the gateway that we have as beings, and we must be cognizant that whatever we focus on, that is where we're putting our energy, that is where our current is being flowed through. If we're looking for the ocean, as that one quote she was saying, you're searching, the woman I was giving him the opportunity, she was a singer, she said at one point that the fish is searching for the ocean, but it's already in the ocean. And no matter how much you tell the fish, if the fish doesn't realize it's in the ocean, it's gonna keep swimming and searching for this ocean, like Finding Nemo type of vibe. You see it? So we have to realize whatever we're looking for, we have it. We just have to focus now on it to maximize it now. Those feelings, those desires can become acquires if you see that and get out of the mind state of lack that has been plaguing this earth. This is a myth, as there's so much abundance already. You've been missing it because you're looking too far when it's right in front of you. You feel me? So be very cognizant of this, especially in this time. It's a time of knowing this now. You see it? Next thing, the fifth thing is meditating and remote viewing. And I don't want to get too deep into this because this is something one has to experience for themselves to know that everything is connected, right? So remote viewing has a lot to do with non-placement, and that's the aspect. Now we're getting into quantum entanglement again, as electrons are simultaneously everywhere, but they pinpoint it. It's pinpointed at every point, you could say. I'm not I'm not gonna say too much into the science aspect, but just the broad view of it, because I don't want to explode people's heads like that. So if you want to look into it more, I suggest you do it. But it's basically saying everything is connected. You could look at it like strings. You could look at it like waves back to the current. Now, distance itself is relative. You can travel without traveling. So remote viewing, in this meditative state, you're now able to see things in lifetime, possibly feel things. Some people actually feel things. Some people can see things. It depends on how the pineal is active. And it's very relative. That's why I'm gonna say you have to experience it yourself to really get what I'm saying. But they showed it basically with this circle, and one thing, a key hidden meaning, they're showing how the cosmos is really the circle, and the circle, the German word is the church. And this is where churches emanate from, the circle, the cosmos being, and even the Fez has the science of that. Hold up, you see the rotating and the three holes in it. Speaking on this is the sun rotating now. I might be misquoting this. I'm not gonna front. I have to look into it more, but the gist of it is we're looking at the northeast, west gates and how they manifest with the point, with the triangle, square, and circle, which shows how man is in the 3D. How man is in the third density. It actually shows the processes being unfolded, and they actually touched on this when even he was falling through squares, when he was running from being recycled, and even when he was being captured by, and I'll speak it to that. That's another point. There's a force that's about correcting things in this universe, to making things flow, to keeping the structure. You could say this is a Saturn energy. It has to do with imprisonment and structure and control. Right? The laws now. So this force was using these rectangle shapes to pull him back in, because you trap energy with cutting off the circle and making it rigid now. I'm literally looking at a square and a circle. I'm just not seeing the triangle right now, but that's just showing you the hypercube. They call it the tesseract. So that's one aspect for sure with the time, the remote viewing, and how the circle manifests back into all of these different possibilities, right? So now, I was talking about this force. This force is about correcting anomalies. It's the justice. So back to the circle 7, you're looking at Allah, the love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We're looking at how justice has to do with correcting. So this force was about anomalies, was about now making sure things were systemically put and filed away. This is like how it was put in the cabinet. He was searching through the cabinet. He was looking now for the anomalies, looking for the errors to be corrected. So one has to be cognizant that karma, whatever you put out, will come back. And these laws, there's laws to this, and you can only match the vibrations and work with it. Because if you don't work with the universe, it'll come back. You see, I'm trying to remember that point in the movie, what he was doing at the time. I believe he was going back. He was just getting to his body, you could say. But it happened just right there. So all of his efforts were now looking in vain because he was now putting too much of his happiness, of his purpose into one thing. Just like how they showed that no matter how much, you're in the moment, you're in that vibration, that creative space, that where you feel this oneness, that if you obsess too much, and if it becomes now an addiction, it will turn you into a lost soul. Like they had these lost souls wandering because they now have placed too much value in a sensation, into just doing one thing, into now missing out on the greater picture that he was realizing for himself now towards the end of the movie, that there's more to life than just this purpose or these things that you may feel or tell yourself on the daily, that you have to also experience and be open to more possibilities. You see it. So this force, you could look at it like Saturn. I think that's the best way to put it, in the zodiac. And one must be structured in their pursuits and square up their conduct. You feel me? So last thing is towards the end. So we're at the 7 now. That 1 is a seed, that you are a seed. So whatever you're looking for is already inside of you. So being a microcosm of the macrocosm is how your star is now aligned. You're now aware of you being the origin to what you're looking for, that you are now in alignment with what needs to be done, not off of what somebody's telling you, but that innate intelligence that stems from your center, your core. It stems from your core into your body, and not just the rational mind, that Saturn energy that's about structuring and judgments now. But as these thought forms are saying that, I'm only apparent to you how your feeble mind can comprehend, because there's so many different variations to this. And one will miss the bigger picture when you just focus just off of the rationalization and just logical way of doing things. That what may work for you won't work for the next person, and that's how it was always meant to be, how diversity works, and how we are able to paint such beautiful pictures in our own ways, in our own mannerisms, in the way in which we express ourselves. And that's why even with the prophet saying that you have to be yourself more, is that you have to be yourself. You have to be in alignment with yourself. Feel me? So being you is one of the most key things too you can take out of this movie. You know, so I know I said a lot, but take time, you know, to really see it for yourself. Maybe rewatch the movie and build upon what I've spoken on. But these are just the 7 hidden meanings and symbols of soul. You feel me? Shout out to y'all for staying in here with me. I got more content. If y'all want to see more movie reviews, also put it in the comments section. Let me know different movies I can watch, I can break down. Hopefully give y'all a greater understanding or a new perspective to it. And yeah, let's keep it going. Easy, Sheik.
Mind elevation. Can't let more. Mind elevation.